This is not Provence, rather it's the home of Gary and Nada Groves. Garrick's folks were visiting. We left Oakland yesterday after a wonderful lunch with Jim and Lori and Tom and Amy and Scott, and are just about to have breakfast. And everybody's in view except Jeannie, who went inside probably to put a sweater on. Actually, to get a cup of coffee, because she had a sweater on. Oh, we've had breakfast and a little talk on the deck over coffee and sweets, and now we're headed for Calistoga for lunch and visit to a winery or two. Oh, we've survived a drive with Garrick behind the wheel, coming down the Silverado Trail. And we're going to make a visit of the Lunar Winery.
I want to do that.
I got pulled over.
It's not like you go your golf line route.
Where's your, you have the image sheet still? I'm gonna try. Have you seen station imaging? Also labeled as Michi. But we didn't make very much of any of those bottles.
This is nice.
So they sold through.
Can we get some of that? What is it?
Joyce picks them up at the end of the day.
Right out of Jennifer and Garrick's living room.
29 too. That's where all the Dobby.
Will that work, Dad, for the glass?
Yeah, it works pretty good.
Working.
Well, they live on the vineyard. They have, some of these places actually have little dormitories.
Clos de Vol.
Go in there.
This is Stag's Leap Winery.
What is that called?
Stag's Leap.
Oh, it is.
I think in the background is Silverado Winery, and this is the Silverado Trail we're on, which is a historic and scenic trail through the wine country of Napa Valley.
I guess we want to go to the visitor center.
Oh, wow.
We're headed for Mum, Napa Valley.
There's a tour bus.
Hey Garrick, what kind of car is that? Say it again?
Chabot.
It's a French Volkswagen.
We use a translator in here, Dad. It says, with the miles, they're equal to the kilometers. He's got like a piece of paper with it all typed out, so he knows how fast he's going.
Gary called it a Chevaux, I would call it a Citroen. But Garrick spent a couple summers in France, so I wouldn't begin to suggest that I'm correct. Hey Nada. Hey Nada, this car is for you.
That's what I need.
Right in front of the car.
I remember how drafty this car is.
We had a car that was one step up from this called
It's
a
called the
Dion.
Dion.
And we used to fold the seat back
And
and we
everybody had
slept
to
in the
put a
back of the
blanket
car.
on your lap so it wouldn't be so drafty. So it'd be so cold. Yeah.
So you had a car like this when you lived in France?
Right.
Yes, we did. White Dion.
Red upholstery. Remember that well.
We used to pull off in the pasture, fold the seat back, and that was our motel for the night.
Ah, those were the days.
Rather than the stick on the floor, the stick was in the dashboard.
Can I actually have a seat on there anyway? Wall. And we were saying we should get some of the
Sometimes there's
It does get a little bit of the bite
this guy
out.
as
So
I'm
it's
going to
53.88.
school. They call
So
the
you're
they're
paying
talking about
388.
the school story.
Which the governor. Hey, we both have celebrity governors. Or is your governor still around? You can, wow.
This one, this one.
But that's really small. How did they get the? See, the smaller it is, it's hard to blow up. It distorts.
It captures the image. No lens, no viewfinder, no shutter.
Jeannie's talking about this series of photographs, which are
Whole thing.
taken with a pinhole camera.
Well, how do you get that image through that hole
You
onto
take
the negative?
you
in the
take a
back?
cardboard box or a wood box, and you put a small pinhole in it. You stretch negative material or photo paper,
By having a pinhole.
and you let light through the pinhole, and it exposes the paper.
Well, I don't know how I feel like it's with the image.
I think Jennifer knows more than I do about
But is
it.
there a mirror? There's got to be a mirror to reflect the image. How does the image get on it?
I've told you everything I know about it,
And not, there's got to be a mirror. There's got to be
which
some
is
mirror.
not very much. Your friend at the torpedo factory, Jeannie, uses a pinhole camera. Miss Fleming, you know?
Peggy Fleming,
Yes.
really? Same way when I look at, I would feel that same way when I look at, a really master painter's work.
Right. Well, Jeannie's referring to the fact that this is a photograph made by Charlie Kramer, and this is a digital image using Adobe Photoshop, and he uses red, blue, and green lasers, which just simply shows how far old Ish here has to go in his continuing quest for digital photographic excellence.
And the birds.
Jennifer, how much is that large print?
Yeah, I've seen all these.
Well, maybe someday one of my prints will sell for
There's the
that.
cross. Well, look.
Don't think so.
Honey, your Ruth's Market can go right next to Roy's Motel. Next to this? Yeah, Ruth's Market can go right next to Roy's Motel.
And the
yeah.
cross.
And now we're in a room of the Ansel Adams art gallery devoted strictly to Ansel Adams prints. And they are beautiful. And again, we're at Mum's Winery. Or I should say Mum Winery. Well, this gentleman just told us that that very large Ansel Adams print of the greenery is the only one. They just found it, which explains why it goes for $178,000, $185,000. And this is the print we were talking about. Apparently, this photograph was found, this print, in one of the grandson's collections just very recently.
Cases here, Mom. About 90% of that production is our Brut Prestige and our Blanc de Noir, which we send and distribute pretty much throughout the United States. You guys can all grapes.
I like the colder climate.
I'm not sure. They can use it for other things besides grapes. Position. Okay, you can use the rest of the tour. They only take till about 11 a.m. They want to keep the sugars down, grapes cold.
That's pretty much the Canaris region. If it was maybe early in the morning, you might still see a fog belt there from the Bay Area. I don't know if anybody's been in San Francisco in July and August, but it's usually freezing. And actually this June, we've had a very cold June. We've had a lot of late fog, a lot of north fog.
Think for harvest?
Well, the grapes like the cold weather, and they like the heat. The unique thing about the Napa Valley is we get so hot during the day, we can be in the 90s, and then we can cool down to the low 50s, and the grapes just are in heaven. They like the hot and cold.
Just cork it.
it's going to say either Method Champenoise, or they're actually starting to change that a little bit to Method Traditionnel. And what that means is the second fermentation's been done in the bottle, so it's made in the same quality way it's been made in Champagne, France. There are some champagne houses in the United States that do a second fermentation in the tank. Usually that's a bigger bubble with a bigger headache.
Always gives me.
So in the winery, in the tasting room, we do little tasters, or you can get by the flute. Just to let you know what we are pouring. These are Prestige. This is a demi-sec and a Boudin. These are a little bit sweeter. So at the end of that dosage, we're going to add a little bit more sugar to these for those of you who like it a little bit sweeter.
Well, we just finished a very interesting tour of the winery here. Learned a lot about champagne, America style.
First question.
I'll give you guys a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
And it's white grapes, which you saw in our demonstration vineyard.
Here's a toast to.
That was good. I like that one the best.
Well, we finished our wine tasting at Mum's or Mum. Now we're in Calistoga for lunch.
Heavy silver stuffed plate. And the way they sell it to you is they have one of those old-fashioned scales that will put a weight on one and the silver, and they sell it to you right away. Amazing food.
We didn't have time. We ran through there.
And Garrick and his dad
Well, you and I went.
are parking the cars.
I'll never do it. You know, when we did someday. Video and, you know, show where. Actually, Dad's been really good.
That is a Thai noodle salad.
Very light compared to what he normally.
Jeannie's asked me if I would help her eat this dessert, but no invitation for my daughter. And we just finished lunch at Wapo's Bar and Grill, and now we're going to stroll through downtown Calistoga. Very reminiscent of Truckee, which we visited last summer at Lake Tahoe. And now we're going into Wexford and Woods to look at some skincare products.
This is the one we just used up.
I'm sorry?
This is the cake we just used up, but Sharon gave me the sparkle liked and ate half of it.
Should we just drive down those market and get some water?
Get that all water.
Yeah. Well, she said, what do you think about it? It was just okay, huh?
Well, Jennifer's inside Calmart, Napa's finest, Napa Valley's finest supermarket. Nada said this is a real old-time Calistoga market. She's in there looking for the kind of olive oil we had at lunch. Hello, dog.
He was kind of like saying it was La Tigra, but...
Rated, serve it 3 up front, please, rated.
It's not as tender as a fillet, but it's more tender than a.
Now headed for Sterling Vineyards.
It was so good.
And
My prescription sunglasses, because I think I laid.
A very popular thing here is to take a limo. That way you don't have to worry about driving home after a day of sampling California vino. Okay, so Jeannie, we've averted a little misfortune. Jeannie lost her prescription sunglasses.
I didn't lose them. I just misplaced them briefly.
Ah, where were they? On the seat of the car. Anyway, we are at Sterling Vineyard, and as you can plainly see, unlike Luna this morning and Mums, there's a crowd waiting to hop on board the gondola and head up the mountain to Sterling Vineyards. Hey Jean. Hey Jean. Hey Jeannie.
There's other places that
Would you call this a lift line?
What?
A lift line?
This is a summertime lift line.
To the right here.
Oh, look at this. Oh my Lord. That is gorgeous. Look, in the East, you know, houses like that.
We are in St. Helena, headed for Silver Oak Winery. Didn't go into Sterling. We didn't want to wait on the lift line. And we think gas is high in Virginia.
I think so.
Oh, I didn't tell you down about Napa style.
Macy's.
Well, that's good.
Stuff. Well, yeah.
Did you say that Olivia and the company with the olives and all that?
Well, it looks like St. Helena is a little upscale from Calistoga.
Just wrote this up in a magazine. One of the.
But that in no way is putting
Town and Country or something. They wrote that up. And
Calistoga down.
Here's Napa style.
where? That's where it was.
Just found out that Napa Style has closed the showroom.
Is that where you used to work here?
That's the B&B that Gary worked in.
And he used to ride his bike. Didn't you ride your bike into Napa town?
Train.
Yeah, it's a train.
This is the wine train. Anyway, back to Napa Style. That's a shop we wanted to go in, but we just learned that they've closed the shop, but you can now buy the products in Macy's.
And if they had gone up not very much more money, they would have tried.
Take the train back to school and have dinner in the dining car. I thought I was hot stuff. I loved it. White tablecloth.
Guys racing the train.
Go to,
Well, this traffic is because of the Mondavi concert series.
Oh, right.
We're in the village of the town of Oakville, and we're looking for the Silver Oak Winery. If we can make a left turn. Whoop! We made it. Well, we just drove by Opus 1 on the left.
what was that? That was Opus 1?
Yep.
Wait, look kind of space agey. Oh, look at that.
Headed towards Silver Oak. Silver Oak is a great wine. I ended up buying some Cabernet, which I have in the basement, and it's time to be consumed.
Aging.
What did I say? I didn't say aging.
No.
What?
Well, I don't know. Did you?
Well, I meant to.
I thought you said I have it in the basement. Aging it in the cellar.
Well, loosely. Our basement could loosely be described as a wine cellar.
If you call it a cellar, it would be a cellar.
Well, it's a cellar, yes.
Yeah. I bet that door is included in that poster.
Well, we are
The doors.
Yeah.
40 minutes too late.
Oh.
Still though.
But
yeah,
there
that's
will
one thing,
be
it's always such a pretty drive.
another time.
Reminds me, it looks like something wrong.
We're looking for a place to turn around, and we don't know what we've come upon.
Should I check it out?
But let's check it out. It's open.
It says open.
Maybe this is Hotel California. We can check in, never to check out. It's probably a private reception. Well, there's some thought that we might be crashing a private party. It's almost 5 o'clock on a Saturday, July the 3rd, in this unusual looking winery that looks like it's under construction. Have no idea what it is or where it is. We know where it is, just don't know whose it is. Well, the Swiss are here. And it turns out that we have arrived at a winery by the name of, and I won't even attempt the translation or the pronunciation.
We might even stop back tomorrow. We're going to be on this road tomorrow.
Little late harvest Bonnier.
These are reserve wines. And state wines are available at the bottom.
Where's Gary?
Well, it's a bit crowded. You can't even belly up to the bar. So I think we will pass on this. Well, as it turns out, this looks like a brand new winery. Looking at the literature, it looks like it's perhaps owned by somebody from the Mideast, and it's a bit crowded for us to do anything here. So we are going to move along. Now we are headed up the hill to Auberge. Auberge of the Sun. Maybe. Honey, I set it up. I know the wait is 30 minutes. We will just put this on the list of places to return to.
Everything you do, every time you slide by, you're costing them something. And that's
It lives on Monez Boulevard
I know.
in Napa. Our address is Napa also.
It's 10 Munez Boulevard.
Right.
All right, see.
To work.
You can take cooking classes. What?
Yep, Jim used to work for them.
He did? When?
Jim worked for the California Wine Institute when he first moved out here from Columbus back in 1970, probably for 5 or 6, 7, 8 years or so. So we're headed down into what Garrick says is the real Napa, the old part of Napa. Well, I don't see a church.
You can't really see it. It's back in there.
No, I don't see a church.
It's back there. It is. Is this where we went to dinner with your parents?
I know this is going to be a very exciting video.
Across. It's just really interesting church.
That is
Hey, there's a curve, Jeannie. You can go in and have a little workout. So this is it. This is
yeah.
this is the
There it is.
Civic Center.
See? Right there.
You mean you graduated at that church?
But this wasn't your school.
No, the graduation ceremony was in the church. Right here. That's where I graduated.
See, isn't that the most unusual? St. John the Baptist Catholic Church. That's a different one from the schools. Well, St. John's Catholic School. So.
Right. Okay. So things in his name because I think he's gonna die pretty soon. So.
Okay.
What is it?
Firefighters, was it?
What's this Victorian building on the left? It's just a Victorian building on the left.
It's a coffee shop.
Looks neat.
It floods. So.
Garrick's saying this area floods. The Napa River's just right where you're looking.
It's funny, it's all the people we saw at all the wineries, they're all older. There are not very many people in here.
It's pretty impressive for California. That is a long time. Jenny,
Yeah?
Stop.
this is where I lived until I was 4 years old.
Which one?
I'll show you.
Gary.
Oh, look at the redwoods. Oh, beautiful.
This is a trip back through nostalgia for Garrick.
Right here.
Which house?
Which one?
This one?
Oh.
Until you were 4 years old? Oh, that's nice. Nice porch.
Look how pretty. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at the roses.
My parents bought that house for, not to tell you, but I think it was like less than a car. Cost.
That's a beautiful house. But the flowers are gorgeous, aren't they?
Oh, they're beautiful.
And they rented this little cottage out because that was part of it. I think. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know, or something.
It is July the 4th, and we're heading out for our second day at Napa. Yesterday it was the wine country. Today it is to be the beach, I think.
I just get so tired of all this perfect weather.
Or I should say the coast. You have something to say.
Yes, I said it's amazing to think that on July 4th we are walking out with sweaters and jackets in hand.
Wearing Bermuda shorts and flowery Hawaiian shirts.
So, do you want to ride in the front?
I'm going to ride in the front. That is your daddy's prerogative. We are approaching Domaine Caneros, which is a French-related
I've noticed, Garrick, that you don't
winery.
get behind cars on two-lane roads
Taittinger.
and get held up by somebody going 35 miles an hour.
which produces mainly champagne.
Yeah, it's
We're now in Sonoma County rather than Napa.
Look at the Delphinium. There's a vase in the
Great view of a parking lot. Little better luck parking than getting into wineries than yesterday.
People probably have other organized things to do on 4th of July that maybe
Family barbecues. It'll just be tourists.
Right. Oh my God, where's this?
Minutes. So you have time if you wish. We do all our wine service at tables. I'm sorry, there's no tasting bar where you go and get elbowed. We ask you to find a seated table, look around, walk around. There's restrooms inside to your left, and enjoy.
Thank you.
And your favorite Virginia winery again is?
Grey Ghost.
And that's because?
They gave me a bottle of wine.
That's a good enough reason.
Let's go there.
Area.
Wineries popping up there now. I've heard really good things.
And very good wines in Virginia. But I do love it. We lived in Los Angeles many years ago. And
Hey Gene, we have a table over here.
It was when you and I came out here for a week. I can't keep track anymore.
Been here a while.
Maybe 5. Alright. Would you like to try some wines today?
We would.
What can I get for you? Any questions?
I don't know. I don't know where to start.
We're looking wines, 3 Pinot Noirs by the glass or bottle, and then we also have the samplers where you can try all 3 of either of those. And sometimes the customers like to order like one of these, and everyone samples it, and then you decide if you want a glass or something. That works out nicely. Champagne, which is from France. So all of our sparkling wines are in the French tradition, which is brut, which is as dry as they can be. The first 2 have a combination of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay grapes. So they are going to have a little bit of fruitiness to them. We start with the Brut 2000. This is the mainstay of our winery, the one we produce the most of, and it is available nationwide. Oh.
They probably will.
Good.
The one guy at Luna was just like this. His nose was like in the glass.
What is that for show?
I don't know, but he was almost. I mean, he was just like his nose. The whole thing was in the glass. It was funny.
You're gonna love this.
But I have never thought she would have said that.
All right, Jeannie, now you have got to repeat for the camera what you just said. Well, first of all, we're trying to decide how to spend the rest of the 4th of July.
Garrick wants us to go all the way to the coast, so we have to think about how much time we have to do that. And I said, well, I think we should just go as far as we can drink.
Now, those who know Jeannie,
Stop for the tasting.
those who know Jeannie cannot believe that she said that, right? And this is what Gary can get out of his future mother-in-law, something nobody else can.
This is a good.
Now, actually,
It is.
actually, Jeannie, that's something else that needs to be recorded for posterity.
What?
It is so
Civilized.
civilized.
We were nice.
I mean, you're not sitting in some grungy bar somewhere. You're sitting
And we're not, and
in
we're,
a perfect day at a French chateau.
and we're not
on the patio.
and we're not sweating on some hill.
On the veranda.
We're not sweating on some hill in Northern Virginia, trying to enjoy the Virginia Wine Festival. As fun as it, but that was, no, that was great. That they have great wine.
Some good ones.
They have great wine, right, Gary?
Who?
Virginia.
Right.
Would be nice for our wedding ceremony. I found a bunch of stuff online.
For Jenny Garrick for a wedding.
Oh my God. Do not give someone the video camera. That's gross. Thank you so much.
These are going to be the wedding toasting glasses.
Ah.
See, I've shot about 40 minutes of video in 2 days. This is the first time I met him. And this gentleman was a photographer. He insisted that he do this.
Thank you very much.
So you're all together. You know each other then, huh?
I go on to them.
Uh-oh. Cool. Group effort here then, huh?
Married to this gentleman out there.
I don't know if everyone's worthy of having that great champagne.
Well, see what you do is you have everybody, you have the best man open the bottle, and then after that you have an empty bottle, so you get those gold pins and have everybody sign the bottle. So you keep the empty bottle, remember who was there.
That's neat. That's actually neat. That is neat.
Especially because, like I say, I do weddings, and when they do this, the energy level just goes, oh, I see the big bottle opened up. So
that's actually a really cute idea.
That would be a wonderful wedding gift from Tad and Joe Winery.
There you go. And we have these all boxed up, ready to go, a shipping container, so you take it with you, ship it with you.
And how much do those cost?
$115. Tax and license, small document. So that's it.
You could have Sharon and Kurt do that. Sharon and Kurt.
It's actually a double magnum.
Hi, this is the big one. You can get this one too.
You can't lift this one when it's full.
How many people would that serve? That would, well, it depends if you're doing 4-ounce pour or probably 2-ounce pour for the toast. So that was 48.
You should do a 2-ounce pour because some people will not drink champagne. And
Right.
But you know, if you're pouring the good stuff, they will.
Yeah, well, that they will.
Because I've done weddings, they have big bubble champagne. It's so bad the teenagers won't even drink it.
Yeah, that's
Take a glass and put it away.
I love this new lingo I've got, the big bubble champagne.
And
The big headache champagne.
Yeah, bigger the bubbles, bigger the headache.
That's why I'm not ever drinking champagne, because it always gave me some kind of headaches. I've been drinking too cheap champagne.
Are you trying to say I've only bought cheap champagne?
Cheap champagne.
But have you had our sparkling wine yet?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we have, but it was great.
That's why I've been here for 8 years.
It is delicious.
Yeah, 8 years only here. I just couldn't leave.
And you are a photographer.
Yes, I do weddings.
Are you
Well, we're
open?
actually-
Are you open October 2nd for Virginia?
We're actually
I do
thinking of
travel.
moving the wedding out here.
Oh, really?
No.
no, but we kind of were like, maybe we should.
Well, some advice for whoever you hire for the photography or the band or the DJ or the caterer, whoever. Make sure they're working for you and not working for them. If they start saying, well, this is the way we do things. We can't do this. We can't do that. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
You can't because you don't want
I
to?
think we got pretty good ones.
That's exactly
Yeah.
why we hired the flower lady we did, because she said, well, whatever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, one lady was like, no, we can't do that. And I was like, well, sorry.
My pleasure.
I told our tour guide I was going to come and get these ladies under control, but I don't think that's possible. Ka-ching, ka-ching. We're in downtown Sonoma. That's the Sebastiani building.
Oh, it's your there. Yes. All that got vitalized. I just heard
It's an error.
Yeah, they
do. Well, you know, the legal system in Virginia is so convoluted. They don't change laws, but they keep these laws in the books.
Well, we've come up on the Sonoma 4th of July street fair. And here's your typical wine country transportation. And here's a little Sonoma starter home. And we're going to try to find a table for lunch at the Girl and the Fig. I was going to stop filming food, but this is such a unique meal that I just can't resist.
I'm gonna play this song at the reception. What's this called?
This is so good.
Yeah, it's like a really
Little vanilla flux, you see that?
Yeah.
No, he's French. Dave Cole used to be on Gibson Hall, and then was on Lucy.
Well, we just had a wonderful lunch at the Girl and the Fig, and discovered after lunch that it is a wine spectator restaurant. We have left Sonoma and have arrived at the coast, and you're looking at Goat Rock.
Yeah. Then when you look at all this water.
Money down there. They got like
Weather like this.
oh no, I didn't sleep. How long did it seem like it took long to get up here though? Or is it just kind of like
We are riding down Pacific Coast Highway. There's a lone cyclist, and you can see it's a little foggy. It's about 15 degrees cooler than it was in Sonoma. And we're really in Bodego Bay, or at Bodego Bay. We're not in Bodego Bay.
Descend.
Well, we're approaching the town of Jenner, still on Pacific Coast Highway, US Route 1, about a mile north of Bodego Bay. And it is still foggy. It's still interesting. And we are hoping to get into this restaurant. And it looks like we may be successful.
Last time it was closed.
Well, we're at a restaurant called River View, I believe, or River's End. And the river we're looking at is the Russian River, where it flows into Bodego Bay. And as you can see, there are not too many people sitting outside, and that will include us that are not sitting outside. Well, it turns out this is another wine spectator restaurant,
yeah, because he never heard us.
which we did not realize.
It's probably these little ones down here. Garrick, the lodge. The lodge in Garrick is probably down here.
Love to spend a weekend here.
And it's sitting right here on the Pacific Coast Highway, overlooking Bodego Bay.
Yeah, we'll just use a cooler. Where our cooler will be on maybe for barbecue beer.
Oh, get hung up on it? Look at the seagulls.
You pretty birdie. Bird, 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 bird. The bird is filming birds.
Oh, it's wildflowers.
Where you have the stops, you know, where
Yeah.
your dad went forward instead of back, and we got hung up on the thing. How did we get on? No, honey, with the car.
We just drove right across
Yeah, I
it.
guess you did.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of just drove off it.
I did.
There were giraffes and they had the longest tongues. They were like,
That's a wide beach there.
yeah, I think that's where we might have gone down. Because we were on.
After a great day in Napa, Sonoma, and Bodego Bay, we made it back to Nada and Gary's home just before the sun went in so we can get a good look at the redwoods.
Oh gosh.
Well, continuing my propensity to video food, this is dinner, and it looks pretty good. It's scallops,
Oh, you only toured you around for 2 days.
and I can't wait.
I know, and then we ganged up.
You need to open I know how to make now.
That is the stove. And Nada's someplace. There she is.
Yeah, I told her you made your crab and
But honey, our shells are not that large.
I've had mine for years too. Yeah.
Years ago.
But of course, we must make some time for wedding.
That's cute. I like that. Whoops.
Okay,
We
that's
can
half
do
a
that.
list. I thought it was 665.
They don't trust anyone over 30.
It wasn't an
It
even
was
number.
the Beatles. Like, well, I'm 29, I'm gonna be 30 next month.
No, it was stupid, but that was my mentality.
It's about 10 a.m. July 5th. We just had breakfast. Jeannie's reading a book. Gary and Nada are driving Jennifer and Garrick to the airport. And I'm going to walk downstairs and we're going to go for a walk around the block. We've walked about a quarter mile from Gary and Nada's house. We're walking down this path and we're seeing that California is very bicycle friendly. I guess if we wanted to move out here, we could start looking right here. And it seems like you can't walk very far in any direction, but once you come upon some grapes, I'm sure there's a better word than say come upon some grapes. Maybe I should say a vineyard. Nada said she thinks these grapes are here. These are for personal use. And this is the winery. Yeah, Jeannie just remarked across the road. These grapes are rather unkempt looking. And here we are at the intersection of Green Valley Drive and Jenny Lane. Robert Mondavi it's not, but it's not too bad. This is very typical of the scenery as you drive through Napa and Sonoma Valley. Except usually you don't see rows of what we think are pepper plants in the foreground and corn in the background. Usually you see nothing but grapes. But the brown hills with trees, some trees, is very typical. In fact, usually you see more of the brown rather than green. And in the background are grapes. And we've made it back to 1659 Rockville Road. Just in time to have a long, cool drink of water. We've arrived at the Nebom Coppola Winery after having lunch at yet another Wine Spectator restaurant by the name of Bricks.
Yeah. It doesn't go that high.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Oh yeah, swallow.
No, we did Australian
Instead of just destroying the wood, they had it brought back to the States. The government, the whole bottom floor closed off and turned into woodworking shops.
Yeah, so a total of 3 glasses. Look, it's $36.
Say that again.
That's a real fish. See.
Gee, what were you talking about? Do I remember what?
That's amazing. He said, do you remember the days of the rope across the back of the back seat to hold on to as you drive?
No.
And here's a
I don't know what I have not the slightest idea what she's talking about.
if you peek, you will. You don't remember that?
Nope. Anyway, this is a Tucker automobile. And Jeannie is showing her knowledge of cars, much more in depth than her husband. It is that, and you can tell Francis Ford Coppola spared no money in restoring this winery. Nook Sherbana, one of my favorite wines from when we lived in LA back in the late 60s. On the left is Nook Sherbana, one of my favorite wines from when we lived in LA back in the mid to late 60s. Of course, Nook is now the Coppola winery. Clearly, everyone knows that by now. Looks like Chesapeake Bay sweet and sour mustard to me.
Doesn't do anything for me.
Is that his mother?